Hello my friends, HM here. In this video I'm going to show you how to make chicken stock. You may say, well, chicken stock, I don't need chicken stock, I just buy some stock cubes in the supermarket and then I'm good to go. That's true, you can do that, but if we should rate it at a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 is absolute top quality, if you make chicken stock at home, you can get a 9 on that scale, and I'd consider this that I'm also using myself. If I'm out of the real stuff, I'll give this a 3. So you can go from 3 to 9 and almost get Michelin star stock in your own food, and that's why you should have that stock. And also what you use stock for. Well, you cannot really make a good sauce without stock. There are very few sauces that doesn't have any stock. If I should think of one, it should be Hollandaise. Doesn't have any stock in it. And also for any stews that you do, or pot dishes as I like to call them, you definitely need stock there to make it good. So that's what you need it for. Fortunately, it's very affordable to make stock. All you need to do, and I'm going straight at it here, is to have a chicken that you buy whole, because it's full of bones that you can boil and then get all this stock from. And then you need some carrots that you'll also boil together with this chicken. And you'll need some onions. And I think I have about 500 grams of carrots and 600 grams of onions. And then there's a third thing we should also have, and that's leeks. By the way, in my last video, I said leeks the wrong way. I said leech, which is a non-good tasting worm. I did it throughout my video, but I'm trying to remember it's called leeks and not leech. But let me pick them up here. Now that we are talking about it, it's the green parts of my leeks, and I always cut that off because I know I'll use it for stock. And the white part of the leeks, well, I'll eat that. But the green parts, I cut that off, clean it, and then I put it in my refrigerator and just use the next time I make a stock. And I'm probably making chicken stock every 14 days. I make a new chicken, because then I get the stock and also get the chicken meat. But let's start with this. I'm going to use a scissor. And I just put it in this big pot. In frozen condition, it doesn't really matter. And I don't know, I probably have here, it looks like a lot, but it's not. I got like 300 grams or something from 3 leeks. And then let's do the chicken. I have done this 100 times at least, but I'm still not an expert. I'm not a kitchen chef who does it like 100 times a month. So of course they can cut up a chicken like really fast. In fact, I saw a YouTube video with a Chinese kitchen chef, and he could cut off a whole chicken in 18 seconds. It was totally cut. It will take me a longer time to do that. But I start with the wings, and I just cut it down here, try to find the joint here where it is, and then I throw it in my pot. And again, I'm not an expert in this, but yeah, I can do it. And then I try to find the legs and just get that off. And again, I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but I'll always get it done. There are some joints here you'd like to try and find. Yeah, it happened. I think I was lucky and found it, or maybe I just cut through the bone. Yeah, off it goes. And then we have this. Now I could of course put it down as it is whole in my pot here over here, because the pot here is big enough. But I prefer to use a poultry scissor, and I don't know how this Chinese guy could cut it up. The only thing this guy used in like 18 seconds was this kind of knife, a Chinese chef knife. He just took, and then it was done, including this, and I don't know how to cut it. Also, I don't want to cut off my fingers, so I'll just take my time here and do it a little amateurishly. But of course, I want to remove the bottom part here, and it goes down here. And then with this, I could cut it in half, but no, I don't want to bother with it. The idea here was to minimize the size of these pieces, so it just goes down here. And So does my carrots. And if I should say something about my carrots, you can see them here. I haven't peeled them. I have just cleaned them with a stiff brush. That'll be this one here. It's kind of stiff, and just brush them off. And if there's something visibly dark or something on it, oh yeah, then I peel it off. But that's it. And then onion comes down. That'll be the third vegetable I put in it. And I'm going to show you something. It's celeriac. You can use celeriac, but I'm not going to use it. I'll use it for something else. And I think 3 different kinds of vegetables are enough. But always use onion. What spice should you put in it? I put rosemary and thyme. And that's also what I've seen a lot of other chefs are doing. But don't put salt in it. A stock should not have salt in it. You add salt to your dishes once you use the stock and make your dishes. There'll be all kind of other things in your dishes, and then you can salt it. And it has to be tasted when it's all going together. You cannot put salt in a stock. But put some rosemary in. I want to use some rosemary here, so we pour that in. And also thyme. And there was something else I wanted to say. Yeah, of course we want to have some water in. And what I normally do is to let the water run a little bit to get all the old water out of my tubes before I apply it. But it's just water from the system. I live in Denmark. We have clean water. So you can definitely use that water. Don't have to buy it separately. And then just more or less cover it. Now this is a very big pot. I'm not going to cover it completely because I know it will shrink down and there will be plenty. I think that's enough actually. Okay. And then I'll let it come over here and put some heat on it here. Then I have, this is like an aluminum sheet lid. It cannot break. So that's one of the qualities with it. And I've used that for many decades before, and I'll put that on top here. Anyway, I will come back because this has to boil now for, I will give it almost 2 hours, and then I'll take the chicken up and peel it, and then I will take all the stuff I peel off it, like skin and bones, put it back in my pot and let it boil for another hour, and then I'll filter it, and that's my stock. And then I have stock, I have sad remains, and I have chicken meat. And we're all done at that point. But I'll show you the final process. So I'll come back. Okay, I'm back, and about 2.5 hours has gone. And I know that the chicken now is tender in the meat, so it's time to take up the chicken from the pot and separate the meat from the bones and the skin. So let's do that. But before we do it, I remember what it was that I thought I had forgotten in the first part of my video. And it was about the efficiency of this procedure for making chicken stock. I'm showing you the most efficient way of doing it. There are other ways to do it, but they involve roasting the bones and the skin inside the oven and taking it out again. And you know, it just takes a lot more time. Whereas this process here is very efficient, both in terms of minimizing the time, but also in terms of getting the most stock and the most meat off this chicken. I definitely say it's the most efficient method there is for making chicken stock. I think you should know that was important. Let's take this chicken up of the pot here, and let's start with the chicken breast. And I cannot touch it. It is of course boiling hot, but I can still use my thing here to take some of it off. Bring that back in the pot. So you can see how, and look at this, the meat just pops off like really, really easily. It's just a joy. It's very tender. That's great. And there's another bone there, just back with that bone. I'll go through it with my fingers when it's cooled down, but not right now. Right now I just want to do the quick and dirty. And here we have the breastbone. And a lot of good, that thing there will become stock. When it's boiled it kind of melts and it'll become more good stock. And all these bones go back. If I can find them, another bone here. Yeah, then some skin. Just bring it back. This skin and all these bones will have another hour in this pot of boiling, so I know that everything of taste there is in this bird and also in my vegetables that I put down here completely uses that up. Also, some of my onion still has this brown stuff on it. It doesn't matter when it's for making stock that you don't peel your onions completely nicely. Just get it done quickly. you can't taste the difference in the final product, I promise you that. But let's take up the remaining chicken parts. What do we have? Do we have it all? These were the breasts, 2 legs, and perhaps 2 chicken wings. I think we got it. What about the back of the chicken? I think we got it all. Yeah, we got it all. I can't find any more of this chicken. Let's see if we can quickly take as much of this out. There's a bone and some skin. Take it back. I want to do this quick and dirty, and I won't touch it until it's cooled down, so that will take a little longer. And now we got all the bones and the skin back, and we'll just let this boil for another hour. Everything here will get filtered out and thrown out, and then what's left here is stock. But I'll be back when I have separated all the meat, and when it's time to filter it, then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Approximately an hour has passed, and I have gone through all my meat that was down here. And what I got out of this, it has already been in my refrigerator. I've gotten 530 grams of chicken meat out from a chicken that was 1350 grams. So the only thing I regret is that I didn't bought 2 chickens, because the work is not twice as much from doing this stuff with 2 chickens. It's like maybe 30% more, but not 100% more work. I should have done 2 chickens and been more efficient that way. Definitely. But this goes back into the refrigerator. The other thing I got out of this, of course, is my stock. And that's the most valuable thing here. Well, I think it is. I don't know how much stock costs. You can't buy it in a supermarket, of course, not at this quality. You have to go to a butcher and buy real stock. I haven't done that for ages, so I don't really know what it costs. But I assume it costs, I don't know, $20 for 2 liter, definitely. Anyway, we have to filter it, and it has to go through a colander first. Just get all of it down. So it filters here through my colander. Here we can see what we have gotten. Okay, I paused my cameras and cleaned up everything in my kitchen, and now we are back here. So this has been sitting for a couple of minutes and dripping through. And what I'm going to do with this one, that's a little tip for you. All that rubbish will come up in the bag that my chicken came with, and then I can throw it out safely in my yard where there's a big container for rubbish. I don't want that to stink in my apartment overnight, so I want to get that out right away. But we're not done. As you can see, we have this nice stock down here, but I will filter it further before it goes into its final destination, which is right here. But let's filter it further and do that in your sink, because otherwise you might have an accident spilling. You almost cannot avoid spilling a little bit. Let me see. I normally get 1.5 glass, and I don't know, I'll get a little more than 1 glass here. Again, I should have bought 2 chickens, and I would have gotten twice as much for only a little extra work. But really hasn't been much work. I don't think it has, for all you get out of this, because most of the time it's just doing something else useful and then waiting for this stuff to cook and boil. I think the chicken skeleton has gotten almost 4 hours. I'll just clean it up a little bit, and then we get the rest done here. Yeah. Just do like this. So you can see it's important that we filter it with a finely masked sieve in the end. Otherwise, there will be too many impurities in this stock. But here it is. Lovely, lovely stock. I guarantee you this is gold in a kitchen. And with this, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for watching my video. I wish you a fulfilling life in freedom and democracy. Goodbye.